on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Bitcoin is still having a little bit of a struggle under the $9,000 level. We sort of dipped down to the mid 8,000s. You could see we actually got up to like $9,200 almost 2 times in the past 24 hours. I do personally still believe we could potentially be in this bull flag formation with a $10,400 breakout possible within the next 24 to 48 hours. Of course, we do need to talk about the CME futures gap, but even more exciting than that, we have a Bitcoin indicator that the last 6 times this happened, Bitcoin went on a massive tear, or at least put in some significant bullish gains in the short term, and lo and behold, we just put in the first dot on the indicator again today. So I want to talk about that. I also want to discuss exactly what we could potentially expect with the next Bitcoin halving and the potential new all-time high, and would we even have a new all-time high this year? I want to discuss that. And of course, some people are a little bit bearish. The fact that CNBC is now bullish again on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And guys, before we get into the main video, I have 2 quick announcements. Please stick around for these before you skip ahead in the video. Number 1 is being that yesterday YouTube did some really crazy shadow banning on a bunch of crypto videos. Some of them are starting to show up again. One of them was my video from yesterday. Now, let me just show you, for example, this is what an average video looks like, right? You put the video out and, over time it starts to sort of decrease and eventually people stop watching it. This is what happened to my video yesterday. Look, crazy amount of views. The video was taking off. We were having lots of people click it. And then all of a sudden it stopped showing up in the feed and boom, literally killed all of the engagement for my video. So it wasn't like the video got deleted, but it did start to lose its viewership. So if you were one of the people that didn't get to see my video yesterday because it didn't show up, I just want to ask you one favor. Can you please just turn on the bell notification for this channel? Just go right below me right now. You can see right next to the subscribe button, there's a bell icon. Just click it, and then you have an option for notifications, and just click all. That way, at least if for some reason the video does not show up in the search results, you'll actually still get the notification, okay? So that is number 1. And number 2, I wanted to say thank you so much, guys. The Blockchain Influencer Awards were last night, and I actually tied Anthony Pompliano for the 2020 winner of the year. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. They're giving me apparently a real physical belt, okay, with my thing on it, with my logo on it. So I just want to say thank you. And if you guys want to check out the awards, I will drop a link to that below. But thank you so much. You guys rock. And yeah, so that's basically it for me. And without further ado, let's officially dive directly into the charts. Okay, so talking about, and thank you if you stuck around for those really important updates. I just hate when YouTube does this to crypto YouTubers, just YouTubers in general. But anyway, having a look right here. So we did actually have a breakout of this original flag. It looks like we got stomped out again, like I said, around the $9,200 level. So basically, this is just sort of extending the potential bull flag out a little bit farther. You could see this morning we dipped right down exactly to the bottom of it. So we are actually sitting at the bottom right now at the time of making this video. So right now, this is sort of confirming to me that we are holding these levels and we are still in this formation. And even if we were to have a breakout from the bottom, you could see that that would be around the $10,400, $10,500 level. And like I said, if I zoom out here one more time, in case you watched my video from yesterday, the significance of that level is because of the fact that Bitcoin has had some major resistance at around that level back here in the China pump, back here before the descent. And if we were to break out again, that would send Bitcoin back to those levels. And like I said, that creates a giant W pattern, which we know that the double bottom pattern in Bitcoin is literally one of the greatest plays that you can play in Bitcoin. It usually signals a massive reversal. Double tops as well. If you have 2 points at the top, you tend to have that reversal. Actually, if we go back here, that's actually very similar to what we had sort of with the double top here. So you could take that either way with Bitcoin. One thing I want to point out is we have a CME futures gap at $8,840. So even if Bitcoin does try to pump within the next 24 hours, we may have a little bit of resistance and try to pull back down to the $8,800 level, or maybe we won't have a move until Monday morning after we have the CME futures open, right? So do kind of expect that there might be some crazy volatility. We could see a really low price price, really high price, and it could be all choppy within the next 24 hours. But what I want to point out is the parabolic stop and reversal, and this has basically flipped bullish. There's been 6 other similar occurrences which led to substantial upsides, and you can see they're all pointed out right here from Nunya Business, which I do want to give a shout out over on Twitter. So he says, can this be interpreted anything other than bullish? Well, having a look right here, first we need to actually look up what is a parabolic stop and reverse indicator. Well, you can see it says right here that a dot below the price means that the price is moving upward. A dot above the price means that the price is moving downwards overall. Dots below the price always rise, and dots above the price always fall. This way, the dots track the price and will capture price reversals when they occur. Now, let's go back and have a look at basically all the times that we had major flips here. I'm not going to sit here and do all of the percentage gains, but essentially, look, we had a major flip right here, and from bottom to top, we had a 78% Bitcoin pump. Look at some of these major ones up here, okay? We had one flip back here in July, okay? And basically, once we flipped from bottom all the way to the top, that actually called the all-time high pump. That was a 938% pump. Look at this. It actually called an excellent opportunity for the bottom right here. So when it flipped right here back in February of 2019, essentially, had you actually bought in on the day that flipped, well, that basically, we had a rally of 293% up to, the 14,000 Bitcoin top. Even here in our descent right here, right? We had this coming in over here, January 6th of 2020, from bottom to top. That was a 42% gain. And right now, we literally had it just flip green again. And this is the first time that it showed below the chart. So this could actually show us that Bitcoin is about to gear up for a major parabolic run. Not to say that we won't have a little bit of pullbacks, okay? If we actually zoom in right here and have a look at the overall trend, you actually can notice that, Bitcoin is actually, one thing I want to point out is that we've been supported by this major trend line. Look at this back here. It supported us right here back in 2013. Then it became resistance, all right? Once it became resistance, Bitcoin fell under it for a very long time. However, look at this. Once we broke back above it in May of 2017, look at this. It came down and it acted again as support. And look at this. It was support during the entire bottom of the bear market when Bitcoin hit its $3,200 lows. And guess what happened? Again, when we fell during the crazy Black Thursday event, look at this. We did wick below it, but we found support above it. So currently, I do believe even if Bitcoin was to get stomped out right here, because we are sitting at the top of the trend, even if we had a major crash to the bottom right now, I still believe that we would get supported, and that is still at around the $5,500 level, which, listen, I know nobody wants to see Bitcoin fall to $5,500, but we would still be putting in a massive uptrend. Now, on the off chance that we do flip to the bullish side and have a breakout up here, if we can get above this sort of previous resistance, that Bitcoin had, I mean, you're talking a massive parabolic run to the all-time high. And by the way, in case you're wondering, this purple line is the Bitcoin halving, which is coming up in about 8 days at the time of making this video. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Comment below. Let me know what you think. But having a look right here, getting back to what Nunya Business actually pointed out, he is Platazao over on Twitter. You could see basically having a look at what the Bitcoin halvings did. Let me actually zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit better. Essentially, in 2012, it took 3 months to get back to the all-time high. In 2016, it took 6 months to get back to the all-time high. So does this mean that this time it's going to take 9 months? Well, essentially, you could see in 2016, 9 months had the final close above the all-time high. So basically, he says that a repeat would place the new all-time high for Bitcoin somewhere between July 2020, this year, okay, very soon, or before January, or by January of next year. So essentially, this is calling for a new all-time high for Bitcoin, essentially either sometime this year or within the first month of next year. Can you hodl until then? If Bitcoin dumps lower, are you willing to sit through maybe one more potential big dip before the massive blast off? Because you and I both know that as soon as Bitcoin gets to 20,000, that's it. It's over. All the news outlets are going to be talking about it, reaching the all-time high again, breaking the all-time high. All your friends are going to be calling you up again, and we're going to be seeing a massive, that was my chart, a massive takeoff potentially like this. So let me know what you think about that moving forward, guys. Yeah, but also we have had Brian Kelly recently talking on CNBC, and he was pretty bullish about it, although he was realistic and did say that maybe the price will take a little bit of a hit. However, we do know that whenever CNBC tends to talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, people say, that's it, sell it, it's back in the news, sell the news, right? So I just wanted to play that clip super quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Check out Bitcoin surging more than 15% this week. Our very own crypto baller says another big breakout could be coming. So, BK, how many days is it till the halving?
It's about 11 days to the halving. And so what that means, what people should know is that, as the whole world is quantitative easing, Bitcoin's about to be quantitative hardening. So they're going to cut the daily supply, or the software is going to cut the daily supply. It doesn't mean that the price of Bitcoin is being cut in half. It just means that the daily supply is being cut in half. You might want to think about it like oil, where all of a sudden in 11 days, half the oil rigs are turned off. And so therefore that supply gets reduced. In the past, this has been a catalyst for very big run-ups. We've had a tremendous run-up coming into this. It's got some wood to chop around 9,000. But I think in the medium to long term, you now have an asset that is going to be more scarce than gold based on the stock-to-flow ratio in an environment where the entire world is printing money.
Why isn't this a sell the news event?
It very well may be. I mean, if you look back at the last two, we've had quite a run-up. If you look back at the last two, it took about 30 to 60 days for this really to filter through the market. So you could have after this, remember, this is how the miners make their money, is by those Bitcoin rewards. Right. So some of the weaker miners might actually have to sell out. But 30 to 60 days from now, we could see a nice run up again.
Tom Lee over at Fundstrat is also pretty damn bullish on Bitcoin. He says that Bitcoin has acted extremely well. Year to date, it is outperforming equities by a sizable margin. So proving itself both as a solid risk-on asset, look at today, and as a hedge versus calamity. We are also positive on the supply-demand impact of the upcoming halving as well. And listen, regardless of whether or not we do have a potential sell-off after the halving or not, I just want to remind you about this clip when Mark Yusko was on CNBC and he was talking about how the price doesn't matter. And Melissa, she was like, what if Bitcoin falls to 5,000? He was like, buy it. I don't care. I just want to play that clip again super quick just to kind of remind you guys that ultimately this is a long-term play. And if you're in it right now and you're accumulating, well, you're definitely still very early to the game.
Quickly, before we go, Bitcoin was under 8,000 earlier today.
Buy it.
Regardless of the drop, if I said to you Bitcoin dropped to 5,000, you'd say buy it.
Buy it. Because here's the thing, the daily price of Bitcoin doesn't matter. It's been alive for 10 years. In every year, other than 2015, it's made a higher low. The market cap has grown every single year. Every fundamental indicator of Bitcoin, usage, wallets, block size, transaction size, number of transactions, every single one, hash rate, making new highs. All of the indicators of the network and the network value are rising. The price of any asset fluctuates. Let's take Amazon. Amazon's been a public company for 20 years. In every year, including this year, it's at a double-digit drawdown. The average peak to trough, minus 31%. Twice, minus 90%. When was the right time to sell? Never. Who's owned it since the IPO to today? Jeff and his mom and dad. That's it.
All right, we're going to leave it there.
Also, to put things into a crazy perspective, Anthony Pompliano, who I just mentioned earlier in the video, he says Warren Buffett has $137 billion in cash. That is almost enough to buy every Bitcoin in the circulating supply. And CZ actually chimes in and says that is where the math is deceiving. It's only true if every hodler is willing to sell at the current price, which is obviously not true, as there is no 21 million Bitcoin sell wall. Alas, Mr. Buffett will only be able to buy a small portion of Bitcoins and at a very high price at that. So that is the thing. There are a lot of hodlers out there. Supply is getting cut in half. There's like an estimated 4 million Bitcoin lost forever. Satoshi has his Bitcoin, which is probably never going to get moved at this point. So only when people realize just how scarce Bitcoin is, well, that's when the problems are really going to arise. Also today, guys, I wanted to mention the fact that there has been a lot of controversy over Tether. Obviously in the news, this is nothing new about Tether printing and propping up the price of Bitcoin, but a lot of traders do in fact use Tether as a way to quickly arbitrage in and out of, potential Bitcoin buys and sells. And now over here, so you've seen it on Omni, which is not that popular. Obviously, it's USDT on Ethereum. We have it on Tron. And now it's coming over at Algorand. You can see the Algorand Foundation says they're excited to share Tether's announcement of their integration with the Algorand protocol. Now, whether or not you like it, you could see over here on Masari, the real volume for Bitcoin today, for example, this is a real updated stat, is 1.4 billion. Look at Tether. It's pretty much also 1.4. And in some cases, you even see Tether higher than Bitcoin. So I do understand that it is one of those topics that you don't really want to, there's a lot of speculation whether or not they're actually backed by a dollar. But regardless of that, a lot of people use it. And coming over to Algorand, they do have, down here it says speeds in excess of 1,000 transactions per second and a block completion in under 5 seconds per block. So I'm not recommending you to keep your money in Tether. I wouldn't keep your money in Tether, but having the ability to send Tether pegged to the US dollar so it's not going to fluctuate in 5 seconds, that could be a game changer potentially, guys. So let me know what you think about that. And also, one other piece of news I couldn't make a mention not in this video is the fact that according to a report, it says that the growth among female users in the crypto space has grown by 43.24% in 2020 alone. So I don't know if that's because females are becoming interested in crypto, or maybe quarantine just has everybody bored. If there's any new ladies out there, let me know why you're interested in crypto. But apparently the average is a 65% rise between girls 18 to 24 years, with the continents of America and Europe experiencing more than 50% growth. The research highlights an average of more than 80% in growth within some countries throughout Latin America, Europe, and Asia. So I think that's really cool. I'm glad to see the diversification. It has been a primarily male-driven space. If we really want cryptocurrencies to have the adoption that we all hope that it'll have in the future, we kind of do also need, men and women to also be interested in crypto as well. So let me know what you think about that. But essentially, guys, that is it for me today. I'm out of here. Today is the last day for the Ledger Nano S. If you're interested, make sure you drop a comment below. And also, if you haven't checked out my tutorial on how to trade on Phemex, you can trade Bitcoin, Chainlink, Tezos, and even gold futures if you want. So I will have that link popping up above. Also, link below in the description. You do get $150 bonus if you use my link. So that's it for me today. Hopefully this video doesn't get shadow banned because I use the word Bitcoin in the title. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.